All right, hey people, Russ Jensen. So I left off with one yesterday, a little video talking about Social Security number, what it does, what they claim that it does, denies you access to common law, and all this stuff. Okay, so I'll try to remind people just a little bit. This whole purpose of this thing, call it constitutional cannabis, is whether or not you have permission, whether you have the ability to use cannabis. Do you? Huh? So part of this process has got to get the people to start to think a little bit for yourselves about what's going on. Think about the true nature of reality that surrounds you. So, if we stop for just a second, everybody, well, I should say everybody, but people should be familiar with your Constitution. The 18th Amendment, which talked about what? Created the prohibition on alcohol. Now, alcohol is a commodity. If the federal government had to write a constitutional amendment to uh, interfere in the production, distribution, consumption of a commodity called alcohol, and that same amendment had to be repealed by the 21st Amendment. In fact, the 21st Amendment is the only amendment that says that it specifically repealed and removed a previous amendment. 16th Amendment certainly didn't do that. Now, did it? But that's topic for another day. So, if they had to write a constitutional amendment regarding alcohol, don't you think they would have to do the same thing for cannabis and any other commodity? Of course they do. Your federal government doesn't have permission. Interstate Commerce Clause does not give them permission to interfere, regulate commodities in any kind of a way. Not that way. They know for a fact that the definition of regulate was to make regular, to make sure that one state wasn't holding back or wasn't working in compliance with the other states. It's not anything about regulating, criminalizing, or anything else. They know these things for a fact. That's why your Controlled Substance Acts at the federal level and the same thing your state level are written in statute form and they apply to a specific class of persons, not living people who aren't engaged in certain activities. Your state government doesn't have any more right to legislate the use of a plant than your federal government does. In fact, your state government right now, today, is operating as an instrumentality of the federal government. We know that for a fact because of the form of law that they allow to happen in your state. The fact that they have enacted the Uniform Acts. Hmm? The fact that they deny you access to common law and equity. No, they claim they allow equity. The common laws, it's the statutes derogative of the common law, and a judge can take cognizance, judicial notice, but he gets to decide whether it's relevant or not. The Constitution, common law, huh? They force you, your states now, to use Social Security number. They force you to utilize that, claim that number as your own, force you to be a criminal, a violator, a felon of federal legislative act. Social Security number doesn't belong to you. It belongs to Social Security Administration. They've assigned it to you for whatever their particular reasons happen to be. Not your number. Your state has allowed a monetary system that is foreign to the Constitution. They only have permission to make gold and silver payment in debt. Why is it you think your state legislative body, your state law enforcement, don't enforce laws on fraud, embezzlement, extortion that happen in the monetary system, the banks? Well, they know how that whole process works. Huh? Why is it that your state legislative body, or anyone elected there, takes a second oath to the federal government? Why do you think that is? Huh? You don't live in the place you think that you do. So what we have to do is start figuring out where that is, what we can do to bring ourselves back to that, how we can have the proper jurisdictions brought into effect for us. Jurisdiction means juris is law, diction is spoken. What law is spoken? What law is operating on you right now? We, the people of the United States, governments are instituted on the consent of the governed. I consented to be governed by a Constitution of the United States of America, 1787. I consent to be brought forward in a law form known as common law and equity. And the number one primary requirement of common law is there has to be an actual damaged party. It's a law maxim. It's the concept of corpus delicti. Real damaged party has to bring the actions, not some infraction of some regulation, even if it's got a criminal penalty attached to it. Common law certainly has all the elements required for to meet any criminal action. You can impose imprisonment, fines, everything else. And equity, well, they do that now too. Equity is more in the field of injunctions, stopping behavior, things that can't be specifically addressed in a law form under common law. There's what right and fair. Your Supreme Court in your state has the original jurisdiction, establishes the jurisdictional authority for your geographical area known as your state, whatever that is. If you ask them now today if they would even answer and respond to you, which they don't, but a few of them have, they would admit to you that they are operating in your first level courts, district courts, state courts, your municipal courts, your justice courts are all operating in a non-constitutional legislative administrative capacity, operating upon statutes which are written and codified for a specific class of persons, employees, officers, and agents of your state government. Same thing at the federal level also. Now, we have to start understanding who and what we are. We've got to start demanding that our elected officials start being honest with us. And we need to begin by demanding that they admit to us that they are not operating in constitutional conformity. That's the very beginning space that we have to come to. Get them to admit that fact. Give them an opportunity to help us. An opportunity to cure that problem. Correct it. Because the only other thing after that then is we need to then begin to address these situations, get things back the way that they're supposed to be. Nobody wants to do that. It's too hard. It's too complicated. Don't understand it. Well, what's there to understand, people? They're operating outside the limits of their authority. They are engaging in sedition. They are engaging in treasonous acts. They have sold out you and your posterity. They allow criminal activities to go on in the financial sectors. Huge. They claim, oh, we have to do Social Security, welfare for the state. You stop and think about it for a second. We'll just keep the math simple. You want to borrow $200,000 to buy a house. Why is it you got to pay back $600,000, another $400,000 just about on top of that? Pretty sure you could probably make a pretty nice retirement account for yourself of $400,000. Okay? Why is it that we allow them to force us to engage in criminal activities by claiming access and use of a number that doesn't belong to us, allow them to operate in a jurisdiction that's not authorized, not permitted. And that Constitution, those founding documents, the one that everybody claims that we live under, law of the land, when why isn't it being enforced? Why isn't it being used? Why is it that you people won't come and help me? Is it so complicated? Am I such a bad speaker? Am I so crazy? I'm pretty sure that I can send you to people that have taken my advice and have utilized information that I prepared for them and ask them what the results were that they got. Fines reduced, indictments dropped, stuff happening. Okay? Time for us to grow up, people, and start understanding what's going on. Understand who and what we are. Understand the fact that your government right now, in spite of how wonderful they might be, they go to church, go to kids, scare kids, go to school with your kids. Hey, they're operating a criminal enterprise under the guise of government, lying to you, hiding information, facts from you, forcing their Roman civil law jurisdiction, which is foreign to the Constitution of the United States of America, upon you. And you just stand silently by. Oh, you went down and stood for 6 hours in line, put some check marks in some boxes and voted. Huh? No. Okay.